Hi, friends. Scott here from Sharing the Burden. I'd like to talk to you a little bit this evening about fentanyl and what it's doing from my perspective, from what I see. And I'll tell you that I spend many hours each week in different jails around the greater Toronto area, three in particular. And I get to see anywhere from 20 to 40, even 50 inmates the odd week. And in those times, I get to find out how many actually use drugs, how many actually use fentanyl, how many have actually become addicted to fentanyl, and how many have actually overdosed on fentanyl in the last year or two, we'll say. Turns out about 80% of the people I talk to who are interested in recovery in one way or another from one thing or another, whether it be a lifestyle, a substance, such as alcohol or drugs, or whether it be, a person who simply doesn't feel like they fit anywhere, don't fit in their own skin. And, we do our best to support all of those people. But it seems addiction rises to the surface so often in what we do. And probably 85 to 90% of the people we talk to are addicts. And actually, I've learned since I've got going on this some 15 years ago that about 80% of the people in jail or prison in Canada, at least, are in there as a direct result of drugs or alcohol. And that means that most of these people are really not bad people with bad intent. They are those who have crossed a line. They have a genetic predisposition toward addiction, and they become addicts. And in that, many today, it seems the majority, will end up at some point or other on opiates. And if they do, they'll almost definitely end up with fentanyl or carfentanil, or the two of them mixed together in a drug that they decide to use, and most likely will become addicted to that drug. And the chances are pretty high today that they'll die. Most people I've spoken to in the last number of weeks tell me of 4 or 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, and more friends have died even in the last year from overdosing on fentanyl. I just want to tell you, friends, before going on to it too much at this point, that this threat is far beyond what anybody can imagine. And I'm fortunate in that I get to speak to people that are probably closer to death than anyone else. Usually they've overdosed and ended up in jail for one thing or another. These people are close to death, and as I said, most of them have seen all kinds of deaths already in their early lives. What to do, I don't know. I also know that the vast amounts of these substances, particularly fentanyl and carfentanil, which, by the way, folks, is 100 times more powerful than fentanyl, designed to tranquilize elephants. A few granules can actually kill a person. If you were to be exposed to the powder, stuck your finger in the powder, there'd be a good chance you would die. This powder, if put into the wrong places, food sources, air systems in tall buildings, water. Can you imagine the devastation that could occur? So friends, we've got to fight fentanyl. We've got to fight it on every front. And I think a real good place to start is in those who we meet in jails. Because as I said, they're close to death, and many will die. Many I won't see again. Many I will see again for criminal reasons, even once released. But a good percentage I'll never see again because they'll be dead. We don't want our people dying. We want to help these people. We want to support them. We want to give them hope. We want to find a purpose, a hunger in their lives. And we want to show them there is love. And as we do, they, by the way, show us a lot more love than we receive outside of those institutions. So, folks, I just want you to be, to have your heads up and be determined to help us fight this enemy. this carfentanil enemy. And it is that, believe me. And there's no one can overstate this. I'm so certain I would, bet my life on it. And my son, by the way, passed away from a fentanyl overdose almost 7 years ago. It'll be 7 years ago, June the 8th. And I know from a heartache perspective, from a father perspective, and from a friend perspective, what it looks like to see these people, to love them, and then to see them dead. Folks, you don't want to be one of us. So help me fight fentanyl. Help me fight the incarcerated individual who really is sick with a genetic predisposition to addiction, who has crossed the line and cannot go back. We need help, lots of it. Please find us, sharingtheburden.ca, stbradio.ca. Listen to podcasts of our recovery radio show every Tuesday, 10 a.m., 102.9 FM in Stouffville. You can listen to that online. Pick up podcasts of recent ones on those websites. And folks, just get in touch. I'm Scott, and I'd love to help you help me. Thank you. God bless you.